What's up, guys and gals? Colin Stuckert here, founder, CEO, Wild Foods Co. Today's video is about your environment, a few ways it is mismatched to your biology, and why it's devolving you and us as a species, and what you can actually do about it. Let's get to it. All right, number one, we live in artificial environments. We are not in nature. We are not walking barefoot. We are not interacting with nature through hearing bird sounds, which they've proven has a lot of benefits to the mind. Just hearing like the crickets and the chirpings and the different trees moving. This disconnection between where we evolved in nature, humans or animals, remember, just like every other animal, we belong in nature, into these artificial man-made environments are one of the great stressors in our society today. And if you look at the mass of people that die every year, we die from these modern diseases that are the result of our poor environment. Like low-level chronic inflammation is, they've kind of made the connection that that is the reason people get heart disease and cancer and all these things, all these long-term, they call them Western diseases, which are diseases of affluence. They are diseases of a mismatched environment. And so when you live in a box, and around me is metal and all the materials, you know, like a lot of them put off gases, and there's different materials that even touching them can like rub off into my body. And these are all stressors that make my body have to work harder to process out. And a lot of these things we don't even understand the ramifications for. Like, for example, the phone, the newest iPhone is the highest level of EMF output and like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all those different signals that are put out on the spectrum that we don't see but definitely affect our brain and affect our health. And it's the highest they've ever had in a phone. They're really pushing the bar. And we don't have any studies that show what the ramifications of this technology are going to be. Like right now, I'm in this building. I'm 5 stories up, and there are probably, I would say, there's about 40 Wi-Fi signals right now that are just coming through these walls, attacking my biology, right? We really have no idea just how bad this is for us. And I suspect that in 100 to 200 years, when the future humans look back at us, they'll look back at these primitive humans that lived in these signal-soaked boxes, right? That didn't have any protections or anything, that the future humans will eventually figure out and fix, and they'll look back at us like we're a bunch of morons, right? But we're living in this time now, and so we think we're super smart and we know everything, and we really have no idea what's going to happen. And if you look to modern humans and just how many of us are fat and sick and dying, and I shouldn't say us, but I mean, when I say us, I mean collective humans, right? Because we're all in this together. But there are a lot of modern humans that are dying unnecessarily soon while living in misery and pain, whether that's through cancer or heart disease or surgery or being on medications every day, not being able to move or walk or sleep, or all the issues that come with being unhealthy. And our modern environment is to blame. And it's not just the boxes, though. The other points I'm talking about will really get into what really caused this, but our artificial environment in general, especially inside boxes, not being in nature, not walking barefoot, that's a very, very big one. And let's get to the next one, which I don't even know if I'm gonna reach 5 because I'm gonna try to keep all these together, but the next one is probably the biggest one. When I say number 2 reason why your environment is killing you, it's not actually number 2. It's, for most of us, it's number 1. It's food. Our modern processed food revolution, our nutrient depleted soil that our crops are grown in, our food travels from all over the world. It's sprayed with things, even organic. There's like, I think hundreds of substances that are allowed to be labeled organic. And then there's even some that aren't even organic substances. There's literally synthetic pesticides and chemicals that are allowed to be used in organic farming, and they will still certify it as organic. And so organic is just another big business. It's just a label that's been paid for. It's complete and utter nonsense. I mean, sometimes when you have organic certification, it can mean certain things. Like, it's better than not organic most of the time, but it doesn't mean what it should mean. It should be completely close to nature, nothing fake used whatsoever. And organic doesn't mean that. If you're buying organic and you think it's because you're getting a purely all-natural product that is absolutely guaranteed to not have anything synthetic in it or have, anything like that, it's not a guarantee. Like, you're not actually buying that. So, just keep that in mind. But food, particularly, are empty calories from the calories in the grains and the corn oils and the seeds and the vegetable oils and the sugar. This stuff is the number one thing that's attacking our biology. It's the number one reason why people are getting cancer and heart disease at record levels. It's the number one reason why America, which is one of the most affluent countries in the world, is also one of the fattest and sickest and most depressed countries in the world. Our food is the number one way we would interact with our environment in the wild. We don't have to hunt for it. We don't have to forage for it. We don't have to process it. We literally can just have someone bring us food. And then they can bring us food that's flown around the world, that's been processed who knows how, that tastes amazing to the point where it's manufactured to be addictive so that we buy it more, right? I got a bunch of videos on this, so I won't spend a lot of time on this, but in general, your food is the number one reason why your health, your performance, your results aren't the way it should be. And a real quick action item that you can do to take back control of your health through food is eat real raw ingredients, prepped at home, cooked at home. Don't let corporations in restaurants cook for you. Buy organic, fair trade. I say organic, but let's just for now say that typically organic's a little better. Single origin, local if possible, no pesticides, no hormones. Buy the highest quality stuff you can from small producers, because typically the big producers don't do it the right way. They can't. To be big, you can't do it the right way. Like, food cannot be done in large amounts and also be healthy for the human organism, right? We got to go back to small and slow, which is why we have the local, the slow food, the small food movement, right? Get to know your farmer, get to know where you buy, like, for example, Wild Foods, where you buy your cocoa from, or where you buy your turmeric from, or where you buy your fish oil from, things like that. The more you can know about your food and the more you can select high quality ingredients, the better off your health is going to be. That's the number one thing you can do to take back control of your health, by controlling your food and getting as close to nature as possible. Real, raw, natural foods that are cooked and prepped at home as much as possible is going to be your best line of defense to live a long life in our modern world that is devolving us. Okay? So when it comes in a package, when it sits on a shelf, when it's got a bunch of ingredients on the list, when it's been processed in any way, even the gluten-free, gluten-free cookies or whatever, it's junk food. It's pure junk food. So don't eat it. Don't be fooled by the gluten-free marketing nonsense. Yes, you should avoid gluten, but you should also avoid grains and processed refined foods, which you can find keto junk foods. You can find, there's even paleo junk foods. Again, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I want to, but I don't, right? I want to keep this short. This video is about how the environment is devolving your genes and devolving you and devolving us as a species and what we can do about it. So go real food. That's the number one thing you can do for your environment. So this video is actually going to be 3 things, because I know I'm already going a little bit over than what I was shooting for. The third thing is going to be technology and how our modern world, even though we're more connected than ever, is actually making us more disconnected and more discontent. And it's sapping the value in our relationships. It's sapping the value of us being in the now and appreciating the moment. All of this dopamine-driven technology where we get these dings and these likes and these notifications. We want all this external validation, and we want it now, on demand, notifications going nonstop. These are all short-circuiting our brain chemistry, and they are making us unhappy. We're falling into traps like comparison trap, where we compare our lives to other people's lives who are living these amazing lives, like traveling all over the world, or at least it seems that way, right? We're seeking likes and validation from people we don't know and ultimately don't really care what their opinion actually is, which is really crazy when you think about it. And we're failing to be in the moment with the people we actually care about. How often do you go to dinner with friends or out with friends or whatever, and people cannot stay off their phone? We did a 3-hour mastermind. It was like 2-hour mastermind here at the Wild Studio, and we had 8 of us around, and there were still, I think, at least 4 people at least once had to get up and check their phone. And they just, they didn't announce it. They just kind of were gravitated to it. And then when I look over, they're on their phone. And it's just like, even though we put the phones in a basket out of the way, that's an example of how addicted we are and how chained we are to technology, but not in a good way. It's not making us any better. It's making us worse, actually. And so the third way that we're devolving as a species is technology is warping our brains and our brain chemistry, and it's affecting our relationships. It's affecting how we focus. We're basically becoming technology addicted zombies, and we all have ADD because all we can think about is what's going on our phone or somewhere else or whatever, and we can't focus, we can't disconnect, and we can't be in the moment. So I guess some action items would be, there's a good article I just read, I think it's by the coach.me guy, and it's like how to make your iPhone work for you instead of against you. Basically what you do is you turn off a lot of the notifications, you move a lot of the, put your phone in do not disturb a lot of the time. I'm doing that now, I love it. Basically when I want to get notified of something, especially text messages, I check it. I don't have notifications on to interrupt me. Moving a lot of the social apps to the back side of the iPhone, like so you have to swipe to get it, just to make it a little less accessible, and just so you'll think about it less, you'll click it less, etc. Really organizing icons in your background to be simple, minimalist as possible. It's really great. A lot of in the mastermind group have done that to great effect, and I highly recommend that. But at the very least, especially if you're a knowledge worker and you do any kind of work, if you have your text messages on or your pop-ups on your computer on or any of that, you've got to get rid of it. You just have to, right? It's screwing up your brain. It's also making you unproductive. It's also making you unhappy. In fact, they've done research that shows that every time you get interrupted by a distraction, it takes 25 minutes to get back to the same mind state. And that's why the whole purpose of deep work is to knock out all distractions, to almost the point where no one can even find you to interrupt you, so you can just focus and do the thing. And then when you get into that deep flow state, that's where your most creative and your best work's gonna come out. And so you have to control your environment to find that deep work state. I had to get this studio here because we have our newborn at home, and even though I have an office, it was too loud, I couldn't record, people would interrupt me, they'd knock on the door, etc., and it wasn't conducive for getting work done. So I had to literally get a studio like that I could come to up at the Domain, which it's a 1-bedroom, nobody is here, nobody can interrupt me. And of course it's business expense, so we write off or whatever, but like I had to find an environment that I could get the work done. And so I had to alter my environment to make sure that would happen. And sometimes when I'm working at Capital One down there, which is the co-working coffee bar space where I work every day, like because people start going there more often and it's kind of a congregation area, I sometimes have to dip out of there and either come here or find a different spot where people aren't gonna be that I know, so I don't get interrupted. It's a real thing. I hope this video is useful, but that means I hope you actually do something about it. What can you do to take control of your environment so that you can live better, think better, live longer, get more work done, and just be happier in general? And then how can you be a shining light so that people around you can also follow you and do the same thing? Because as much as humans are byproduct of their environment, other people are a huge part of our environment. And so I would probably say that would be number 4 actually, the people around you. If you are around people around you that have no desire to level up in life, that don't want to do things you want to do, or worse, that criticize you or hold you back, you've got to cull that out of your life. Either you have to spend less time with them, or maybe you got to get rid of them completely for a while so you can do your thing. And then go be around people doing the stuff you want to do. Go to meetups, reach out to people on social media, ask for advice, follow people, etc. Fill your brain with positive affirmations, with positive ideas, with people that are doing the things you want to do. Your environment is also what you take in content. Control what you're watching. Drop the news. Drop the scaremongering. Stop wasting time on negative, lame BS entertainment that's just mindless. Watch TED Talks. Watch videos like this. Read audiobooks, etc. You are a byproduct of your environment. So what you allow into that environment is the most important thing. My name is Colin Stuckert. I approve this message. Thank you for watching. Like and comment below with tips, ideas, tricks, questions, whatever. I'm here to help. Other people are here to help as well. So maybe something you have to offer can help someone else, which is why you should drop a comment and why you should like a thumbs up so your friends can see the awesome content that you're following and watching, and then hopefully they'll pick up some for themselves.